Most of my ideas begin as sketches in notebooks, often quite small notebooks that I can carry around with me. I seem to get a lot of ideas when I'm in a vehicle for some reason, or in the shower. Unfortunately, I don't have a waterproof sketchbook, but it's nice to be able to have something that you can jot down ideas very quickly while they're fresh in your mind, because if you plan on doing it later, you will never get around to it and you will forget, much like a dream. A good idea is like a deep sea fish. It's all bright and colourful, deep in the subconscious, but if you pull it up too quickly, it'll die and deflate and be this grey coloured jelly by the time you get it to the surface. The act of sketching in a sketchbook is almost like a way of coaxing ideas gently through that decompression from the subconscious up into the conscious world without destroying them, and it's a tricky business. I get around it by drawing very loosely, often using a biro, and usually I don't usually buy the really nice sketchbooks. I like to draw on pretty bad bits of paper or something quite cheap because it feels like I'm not doing art. The moment I start thinking I'm doing art or writing a story, everything starts to seize up and become very mannered and laboured. But if you're not thinking too much and just sort of daydreaming on the page, you can actually come up with some good stuff. It doesn't have to make sense either, which is a very liberating realisation. You can worry about all that later. The main thing is to just get that stream of consciousness down. One of the things I like to do is these little stream of consciousness sketches where I just draw a thumbnail square, almost literally the size of a thumbnail, just tiny so it doesn't feel very important. And then I draw a little picture and I write something underneath, move on to the next one very quickly and see if anything happens. Most of the time it's terrible. There's no story, it's just kind of like a dream, doesn't make any sense. But occasionally you will get this interesting little story happening, and with a little bit of nurturing you can develop it. So here are pages where I've started to pick out some of those little loose sketches and think that idea is pretty good. I'll develop them a bit more into a secondary sketch. So you can see there's a story there about a boy with half his head is a cat's head. It's been sewn on. What's that about? Well, I just start writing to try and figure out what the image is about. The other one is about a man who's hasn't died but it's become a skeleton without dying, and the problems that he has in daily life of getting by as a skeleton. You know, I don't really know why I'm thinking of that, but the important thing is that I develop it without asking that question too much. And then going on to another step, I might do more elaborate drawings, and this time I am producing kind of art, but I have the security of the fact that the ideas have been born in a more silly environment, and so they don't feel too self-important, and I've got to the point of where I'm doing fine lines without having to think too much about what they mean and just concentrate on the shapes and forms that I like.